So there's me watching a skincare video and thinking maybe I should probably update people who care, like how my skincare routine has changed of late. Basically what my current skincare routine is. And, you know, talk books meanwhile. It came to me so quickly, so I decided to make this tag. Apologies if the questions aren't the best, but I'm pretty happy with how they came out, I think. I think it's, you know, interesting enough to warrant a video. Then I thought I should probably check the interwebs to see if anything like this is done before. And I actually was super gutted to see that there is already a skincare and books tag. A YouTuber called Karen May created the skincare and books tag, and I think I first saw it on Novel Lush's channel, another booktuber, when I was searching to see if there was anything remotely similar. I'd say my questions are pretty different though, but just so you guys know, I acknowledge that this isn't a completely original idea, although I thought it was, but nothing in this world can be original these days. Everything's sort of been done before. But I hope you enjoy this like different version, twist, you know, I don't know, of something that has been done before, although I didn't know it at the time. After talking to some of you guys on like Twitter and Instagram, I decided, yeah, I will go ahead and just make this video, but obviously announce that there is something similar around. I'm not claiming to have created the most original thing in the world. I'm aware that something else exists, so please go and check out that tag video as well. Hopefully you can agree the questions are different, because I made all these questions just like from my head, and then I typed, like when I searched for to see if there was something else up there, the questions to me seemed pretty different. So I personally based my questions off of the order that I tend to do my skincare routine and the type of products that I tend to use as well. So, you know, even if you don't use a specific, like a serum or something for example, still feel free to answer the question if you'd like to. And whilst you're telling us about the books that fit the prompts for the questions, feel free to share with us some tips and tricks of how you get your skin the way you have it. Tell us maybe a little bit about your skin type and what works for you. I think it's just a nice little collective discussion on books and skincare. So I'll have a little clip of me using said product just in the corner as I speak about them. So without further ado, here is my Bibliomaniac's skincare tag. So the first question is face wash, a character that's so squeaky clean they would be the perfect role model. I was going to say book model, but I meant role model. So in terms of actual product, for that I am currently using the Lush Let the Good Times Roll. This is actually a face and body cleanser. I just tend to use it for my face because it is a smaller pot. It's like popcorn in it, maize obviously, and it smells like popcorn. It's really, really nice. It's also got a little bit of an exfoliant in it too, so it does give like a daily light exfoliant if you don't want to go in with something heavy, but I do use something separate for that as well. What else? It makes my skin feel super, super soft, and I've been really enjoying this of late. So in terms of answering the actual question, I would say that my character that would definitely be a role model is Beena from the Undercover Princess series by Connie Glynn. I think she's just one of those characters that she studies really hard, she does all these things, and she's really inspiring from like a academic point of view. Like you'd want to be like her and like ace all these like exams and everything like that. So yeah, definitely her. The next question is face scrub, a bristly character that you wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of. So my face scrub, as I already mentioned, that face wash is a little bit of like an exfoliant, but if I want something a bit more like in depth to really remove the dead skin cells on my surface of the epidermis, I will go for Origins Ginseng Refreshing Scrub Cleanser. So I actually got this when I was looking for something to remove the like dry skin that I kept getting in this little section here, like my septum section, and it was annoying because everything that I was using, it kept coming back. And I think this is the most effective product because I don't have that anymore. I get it every now and then, but for the most part it's gone, and this was the only thing that I seemed to change. I was actively looking for a scrub to target that, and I feel like this did this. I really like this. It lasts ages because it is more of like a it's got like these beads in it, so it's more abrasive, I guess you could say, so I don't use it as often at all. But it smells like oranges and like just citrusy, and it's really lovely. I find that I'm allergic to orange to eat, but I can have it like in my skincare and stuff and it doesn't seem to affect me. But yeah, I really recommend this if you have any issues with like dry, like flaky bits of your skin. Before we move on, actually, just to let you know, I do have a sort of oily combination skin, sensitive skin. It seems to be getting more drier, I've noticed, over the last year or so. I thought it was just mainly like the season changing and stuff, because my skin does sort of alternate during seasons, but I do notice like overall it is a little bit more drier, which is maybe something that's happening as I'm getting older. But for the actual question, I would choose Vivian from Eve of Man by Giovanna and Tom Fletcher. She is so cold-hearted, like she makes me so uncomfortable. I would not want to get on the wrong side of her. She definitely feels like super strict, but also like she could punch you. Like, I don't think she has been violent, but you know what I mean? She's got that sort of dangerous air about her, in my opinion, from the reading the first book. And yeah, I wouldn't want to cross paths with her, especially if she was in a bad mood, which seems to be all the time. Next question is face mask. What's the one book you can always count on to pick you up when you're feeling down or feels like the perfect treat? I don't have my face masks to hand, honestly. I use any face mask. I like these sheet masks. At the moment I am going through the Face Ink ones, as well as some Soap and Glory face masks. I've also got a Lush jelly mask that I'm in the middle of using. But yeah, I use clay mask, sheet mask, jelly masks, loads of different kinds. I sort of most of the time assess what my skin needs and sort of go from that. So if it's like feeling kind of dehydrated and dry, I'll go for a sheet mask. If I just want like a boost, I'll go for something to detoxify the skin and just boost it. I'll go for like a clay mask. It just depends, and sometimes I just want to put a mask on just because I like the feel of it, you know, and it's got the added benefits after of radiant skin. So yeah, there's my answer for that. Sorry it wasn't like a proper recommendation. For that, again, I'm not much of a rereader, but I would say the series that definitely is like a pick me up would be the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. He's one of my favourite authors, and I do apologise if I've said his surname wrong. I say either Riordan or Riordan. It's so strange that he's one of my favourite authors and I still never remember how to pronounce his surname. I do apologise. But those books are something that just always, even just thinking about them, like even though I read them like years ago, they just make me feel happy, and I remember like certain random scenes and I'm like, oh, it just fills me with joy, you know. The next question is Toner, a book that sets the perfect tone or atmosphere. So for Toner, I've nearly finished this and I've actually been holding off on it so that I could show you guys in this, because I didn't want to forget to include it. But this is the Pixie Skin Treats Rose Tonic with rose and elderflower nourishing toner. This is really, really nice. I'd say it is comparable to just regular rose water, but you know when something just feels that extra like bougie, I never say that word, I don't know why I decided to say it now, but it's that. So I like to use it. I probably wouldn't rebuy it every single time, just for when I've got a bit of extra cash and I want that more luxurious feel. So this one I've been loving. And then aside from that, or days that I don't want to, like, it's a small bottle, sometimes I just don't want to waste it. Days like that I will use just regular pure rose water that you can get from the supermarket, or I'll use witch hazel, or sometimes like a combination of the both. Like right now, for example, one of the serum that's left over from a face mask that I was using, I don't throw those away, like I use them. So at the moment I'm currently using up the residue left from that as my like toner, serum, whatever you want to call it, but that's what I'm using instead of toning my face at the moment. So but yeah, at the moment technically it's this guy. I would recommend it. It's very nice, but it's like £18 for a small one, and like rose water does the same thing almost. But you know, when something just, I don't know, you want to feel luxurious, it's that sort of vibe. But it is very nice and it smells great as well. I don't usually like floral scents, but this rose water smells good. So the question itself, which you've probably forgotten because I'm like proper like rambling along, question itself is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. I think the sort of Russian folklore, winter sort of ambience is absolutely perfectly done. And it's crazy because that book, I believe, was her debut at the time, and it's just, from the get-go, her writing was just so magical. Like the tone was just perfect. It just really set the mood. And from the second book that I read, The Girl in the Tower, that definitely carried on. I'm hoping to read the final book in the Winter Night trilogy shortly. I may have already read it by the time this goes up, but I'm pretty sure that same tone is going to carry on, just because you can really tell from her in the first book that she's just got a knack for setting the tone, setting the scene, getting the right sort of atmosphere built up perfectly. So good. Next question is Serum. A character so smooth you can't help but call them your book boyfriend or book girlfriend. So for Serum, I use the Revolution 2% hyaluronic acid. This stuff comes in like a little pipette bottle, like so. And I don't use this every day. I use it like every other day, if I remember, which I'm pretty good on that, because when I first started using it, it was really nice. I saw like almost like instant results, like my skin felt good, but I worried because of the fact that it's an acid that it might overpower my skin, and my skin is still quite young and I don't want to like do anything to ruin it, do you know what I mean? So I decided to just do it every other day. So yeah, that's sort of what I use for that. And again, going back to Percy Jackson, I'd have to say Percy Jackson. I was like in love with him when I was reading the books for the first time. Like, I was infatuated with him. I thought he was amazing, and I still do think he's amazing. But then in my head, whichever book that I've read up to, because he features in like other series that Rick Riordan writes, if he's like not necessarily the main character or he's mentioned, he's still stuck at that age for me. So whichever book that I've read of late, he's that age, and I feel weird because I'm obviously like nearly 23 now, and I don't want to be thinking that way about like some 16-year-old character, do you know what I mean? But if I was to go back into my mental state like at the time when I was reading it and that, and I was around his age, I was like, yes, book boyfriend for life. This question, and the last question, is Moisturizer. Seal the deal. A book you read that completes the series perfectly. For that, I want to quickly mention this one, which I wasn't going to talk about, but I thought I might as well. I use this for evening time. So this is my Revolution CBD oil. So again, at night time I use this rather than an actual moisturizer, and it's really nice. It's quite like thick. It's runny but thick, so you feel like your skin gets like deeply nourished throughout the night. I wake up, I don't really have any residue on my skin, you know, but that's really lovely as well, really nourishing. But generally, like daytime use, I have recently started using the Kiko Milano Smart Hydra Shot Cream. I used to just use the Hydra Shot like tube. You just put it underneath your eyes and that, and it was really cool. But then I saw they had an actual cream of it, which looks like this. And I wanted to give that a go. Almost like comparable to the Nivea. If any of you have used the Nivea Post Shave Balm, I know a lot of people used to use it for like primer for their makeup in the past. I've gone back to using it actually because I need to use it up. It's almost like that consistency, that sort of texture, but thicker, cooler, more like solid. Maybe more like the, I don't know if any of you guys have tried the Bio Oil Gel. I recently got that for my mum, and it's sort of like that consistency. Very interesting. Imagine it'd be great for like colder and warmer times as well. I've only got this like in the last couple of months, so I haven't been able to test it out in different seasons and that yet, but where it's got like that cooling sensation but it's also lightweight, I feel like it would be good for different seasons, and it's really hydrating as well. It leaves the skin feeling like really silky, like it feels again luxurious when you smooth it on your skin, you rub it in, it just feels like a dream. However, I have been flaring up of late. There's a few things that I think coincide with it. I've been getting like these lots of little under the skin bumps, like spots, but like I don't really know how to describe them. They don't seem to have like heads, they're just like raised skin. They're not like dry and flaky or anything, but they're weird, like pimply sort of thing. And I don't want to think that it's from this, because again, I use the stick version of this and there's not much in terms of difference that I can imagine from, you know, it's got to be the same formula. But then I feel like maybe it's the perfume scent in this that's a bit stronger, and I don't know, maybe I'm putting it more on my face than I would when I use the stick version. And I thought maybe it was the serum, and that's why as well I decided to just use it every other day, because I didn't want it to like be too much for my skin. Yeah, I started using newer things a couple of months ago, and it was just, I was noticing different changes in my skin, but it's really calmed down now. I think they're getting just used to the products perhaps. I still have a few like little random pimples, but it's not as intense and like hideous. Like, I actually really disliked my skin at one point when I noticed it. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that just in case any of you have this or had tried this and maybe you saw something similar. I would like to know, because I need to know kind of exactly what might be influencing that. But in terms of the actual question, yet again, hopefully it's not too rambly for you, and hopefully if you guys decide to do this tag, you'll be straight to the point rather than me. But for that, I'm going to say American Monsters by Derek Landy, which is the final book in the trilogy of the Demon Road trilogy, I think that's what it's called. That one was like the perfect ending. I think I gave it 5 stars, and everything just, it was amazing. Loved that series. Definitely go and check out the trilogy if you've not read it before. But yeah, once again, that is my, I want to call it my original tag because, you know, I thought of these things, but just so you are aware, there is a skincare and books tag that I would love for you guys to go and check out as well. And hopefully if you would like to do this, then you've been tagged and you want to do it. And yeah, send me your responses in the comments. Let me know if you've decided to answer these questions. And yeah, sorry it turned out into a long one. I had a lot of explaining and I get carried away. I'm sorry. Anyway, enjoy your day. I'll speak to you in another video soon. Bye. I don't know why she told me to.